All right, before we move on to formatting, let's look at some things that'll help you understand what's actually going on here. So first of all, we're going to go to our book window, and I'll show you a little trick here. If we make the book window active and we press Escape ZI, we can actually zoom in on the book window, which will help us to see things better. And then we're going to move this splitter here. Now what I want you to see is the name of the book is tablecleaner.book. So when we add the TOC, or any generated file for that matter, to the book, it's going to have the same name as the book. So you see it's called Table Cleaner, and then that suffix is going to be tacked on there. So remember we looked at that, and I'll show you how we can actually get to where we were when we set it up. If we right click on this table of contents, we can go to Set Up Table of Contents, and we'll see here, remember we mentioned the suffix is TOC. And so what happens is when FrameMaker creates this, it says, okay, whatever the book name is tablecleaner.book. We'll take the base name, and then we'll add the suffix, which is TOC, and then we'll tack on .fm, and that's how it figures out what the name is. So if you're wondering how that happens, and we'll see also that this TOC suffix is relevant to actually how these paragraphs are named in the table of contents itself. So if we look at this, we see we've included heading 1. So let's just go ahead and cancel this. Now if we click in the table of contents and we look down in the lower left hand corner of the document window, we can see that these paragraphs have the same name as the paragraphs we included in the table of contents, but with the TOC suffix. So you can kind of see how these are all tied together with this suffix on here. And we'll show you one more thing that's related before we actually get into the formatting. So if we go to this TOC and we choose View Reference Pages, and what we're looking for here is we have a reference page called TOC. And so anytime you create a generated file, if it's a table of contents, an index, a list of paragraphs, whatever it is, whatever suffix you choose, you're going to have a reference page that's going to be named according to that suffix. So that's what that TOC is there. And if we click in here, you'll see down in the lower left hand corner, there's actually a flow. This text frame actually has a named flow, and again that flow name is TOC. And I'll show you that in another place. If we control click and then right click and do object properties, you'll see that this tag here, this flow tag, is TOC. So that suffix, you're going to see that related, how that's it's all tied together. It's tied into the name of the component in the book window. It's tied into the names of the paragraphs that are used in the table of contents, and it's also tied into the name of the reference page and the flow that contains all these building blocks, which obviously we'll see in detail.